Hello and welcome back to Lord Fenton Gaming Plays Dying Light. I'm your host, Lord Fenton. In this Don't Panic series, we're going over Dying Light. As always, like, comment, and subscribe my channel for more content like this. Do not forget to hit the notification bell so be updated and more. You're saying, wait a second, why is this shotgun making so much noise and more zombies are coming? Why am I being grabbed? Help, I need to survive. Don't panic, help is on the way. With this new player guide, this will get you ready for the first game before going into the second game. So let's go ahead and start with the first topic. In Dying Light, there is a total of 4 difficulties, so let me go ahead and explain each and every single one of them. Now, you pick story mode, the lowest difficulty. Infected does less damage, player does more damage to the infected and other foes. Legend experience points, when you get to that point, is halved. As for normal difficulty, foes do normal damage, player does normal damage, and legendary experience points is on normal levels. There's no multipliers or anything like that. Let's go ahead and talk about the next difficulty. As for hard difficulty, here what happens. Foes hit harder, players does less damage against enemies. Medkits now only regen. The other 2 difficulties, instant heal. When used the survival sense, aka the highlight button, well, that only highlights now drops in thrown weapons, not everything else. Legend experience points is 2.5 gain in this difficulty. Action goes on in the pause menu, same for nightmare difficulty too. So let's get to the last difficulty. Now this is the most brutal one. Foes hit the hardest, foes are the toughest, certain skills lose their unlimited stamina, foes gain more health, they also regen more health. Nights are a lot longer. Legend experience points, when you get to that point, is 10 times the gain. You gain a whole bunch of experience points. Also, the action goes on the pause menu, and when you die in legendary experience mode, you lose all your experience towards the next level. So, what's the advice on which difficulty should I try? Story mode or normal mode? If you want to try hard, go ahead and do so, but stick with at least normal for the highest difficulty when you first play. Let's go ahead and talk about movement. In Dying Light, it's just like a first-person game. You just move around. Now, you're on the PC's WASD to move. You also jump too. At times, sometimes you get certain skills. Swing your weapon or shoot your weapon if you want to do that. We'll talk about weapons more later on. If you're playing the PC version, you could use the mouse wheel to change certain weapons up. Also, numbers on certain items you get to throw too. There's so much you could definitely do in this game. Spend some time getting used to the movement before actually killing your first infected. In Dying Light, you could be really athletic. You could run for a certain distance until your stamina runs out. There's a certain skill later on that will actually get you unlimited stamina. Also, you could climb too. And when you do climb and at certain times make certain jumps, well, you do gain some agility points. We'll touch up on that more later on. You definitely want to get used to climbing big time, because if there's a horde of infected and you want to escape, well, the only way to really escape is just go ahead and climb. Now, please note, some foes can climb too, so do be careful. Just plan ahead on where you want to climb or run. As for combat, there are different ways you could fight foes. You could just straight up, like a first-person shooter, shoot them. However, even though it is quick, it draws noise. Yes, in Dying Light, drawing noise can be a very bad idea unless you're doing it on purpose. You can also use melee weapons, which is less noisy. At times, if you have the following or any of the DLCs, a bow and arrow is really nice too. So just pick which style of combat you want to do. Also, there's variants of different infected foes, so I'm going to go ahead and list them right now. There are many different types of foes in Dying Light. I'll go over most of them. So first of all, our biters, they're like normal infected. If they grab you, they will bite you and they will do extra damage. Extremely dangerous in groups, however, they do move slow. Virals move fast, can climb buildings, hits hard. Sound definitely brings them in, so if you decide to have fun with a shotgun, expect a lot of virals coming towards you. Yes, and they could chase you too. Now, gas tank infected, they're infected just like the biters, minus the biting part. They have a gas tank on them. So if you accidentally or on purpose destroy the gas tank, you will attract attention. Like, for example, virals. So do be careful fighting them. And yeah, don't blow up the gas tank when you're near them. You could get killed by that too. Next up on the list of infected are goons. They are giant infected with a two-hand melee weapon. The melee weapon, you need to be careful the most. You could get knocked back. They could do some serious damage on higher difficulty. Now, toads, they could be really annoying. They spit acid at you. And there's a whole bunch of them. They're above you. Yeah, you better kill them fast. Bombers, they're really dangerous. If you get too close and they blow up, you could die. Kill them from a far distance. If you do not want to make noise, throwing weapons is a great way to kill them. So let's talk about the next set of infected. Let's go ahead and talk about demolishers. Bigger than goons, they could charge. That charge does a lot more damage. If you're not careful, you get one shot by charge. They could throw heavy objects at you, so be careful if you try to fire them from a far distance. They are protected by armor. However, you take out that armor, they have a weakness. You could go after that said weakness. Now, screamers, they're infected children that use screams that could stun or disorientate the player. Their screams will also draw other infected. They're easy to kill once you're able to grab them and kill them instantly. Let's go ahead and talk about bolters. They're common at night, can run as soon as they see you. So if you want to try to get the edge on them, well, there's a few methods to do so. When you do kill them, they'll automatically track volatiles, and your chase level goes up by 1 or 2. So be careful. Now, volatiles are powerful melee infected. They could grab you too, which is very powerful. They spit at you too. They're only at night. They spot you. Well, hopefully they do not bring their friends, or better yet, you better run from them. They are weak to UV. That includes UV light and UV flares. Night walkers are only at night. They're like biters, but more pissed off and more powerful. They will draw more attention if they spot you, like volatiles. As for the last category, humans, aka the living, they can shoot at you, use melee weapons, and at night they can accidentally attract attention of infected. Yes, infected will attack them too on sight. So the question is how should I deal with each and every one of these type of foes? Well, you could just shoot them. However, you'll bring attention to other infected. You can use melee weapons, or in some cases, if you're good at stealth, well, you could do that too, but only works on the infected. Well, most of them. So let's go ahead and talk about the next topic. You can kill foes by items, melee, throwing weapons, guns, bow and arrow, and other things. Also, you could kick your foes to death. Or if you're very smart, kick your foes into barriers or spikes, like for example I just did. So if you ever run durability on weapons, yes, in Dying Light, weapons have durability, except for guns, of course, and bow and arrow. Run out of durability, well, you have to use your feet to kick to kill your foes. So when you need to, go ahead and kick them. And yes, you can kick foes off of rooftops and do a lot of damage to them. Maybe even kill them. In Dying Light, you can use so many different type of weapons. You can use guns, for example, however they make noise. Melee weapons are very nice. Throwing weapons too. Not only there's a different type of weapons, there's also different tier of weapons. So I'm going to go over the different types and the tiers. Let's do the tiers first. The first one is common, which are gray, lowest of the lowest tier. I would not advise upgrading them. You'll find better weapons down the line. Uncommon green, they're better than common weapons. Good to have when you first start out. Well, then there's the rare ones, the blue ones. I call this the middle of the road type of weapon tiers. Good to have if you need them. Exceptional that are purple, they're better than rare, and you want to start putting some good upgrades in them. Now, legendary, which is orange, is the best you get from shops, and also fine too. Put some top tier upgrades in it, like for example the king ones. Now, gold tier, they're the best of the best. They're usually found in player versus player type of modes. Also events too. Yeah, seasonal events can get you gold tier weapons too. So definitely look out for exceptional, legendary, and gold down the line. When you start out, sell for uncommon to exceptional. First of all, melee weapons, you can find them in the world. You could craft certain things with melee weapons. Type of melee weapons are usually one-handers, two-handers, axes, swords, hammers, and etc. Even nail boards is considered a melee weapon. You could also throw them if you have certain skills too. I advise definitely against that, especially if you have a good melee weapon. Now, durability on melee weapons is like this. You run out of durability, and it gets to 0, and it says it's useless. Well, you have to get rid of it, so be careful on melee weapons. Now, throwing weapons is like, for example, stars, throwing axes, other types you could throw. When you can find these either on foes or craft them yourself, or even shops too. And they're very good for the silent type if you want to go that route. Now there are guns too. I call these the noise makers. Yes, you'll get headshots against certain infected. However, the problem is you'll draw attention. Guns includes pistols, shotguns, SMGs, and rifles. So definitely be careful using a gun, especially in an area full of infected. My advice is make sure you have at least 2 melee weapons on you at times. Maybe a throwing weapon, and of course 1 or 2 guns if you want to go that route. And as for other ones in your backpack, even though space is limited, I'd probably say 2 or 3 extra melee weapons and 1 more extra gun. So let's talk about the next topic. In Dying Light, you can use equipment to your advantage, like for example UV flashlights, grappling hooks, or even firecrackers to draw attention away from you. And at times you can use them also to kill foes, like for example Molotov cocktails and grenades. There's also materials you can find in the world you can use for crafting, like for example you can find electronics, gauze pads, alcohol, and much more. And yes, those materials will definitely use in blueprints, so be on the lookout for those. I'm not going to list the materials. Instead, I will definitely list the type of equipment and go over them now. I'm going to go ahead and give you some of these now. Firecrackers, when you throw them, it draws infected to the spot where you throw it at. Really useful to draw attention away from you and draw them to a certain spot. Grappling hook goes to places much faster. In other words, climbing slope, this will be a lot quicker. Lockpicks unlock lock boxes. Really useful. Also cars too that's locked up. Medkits heals the player instantly or over time if you're playing on hard mode or above. Molotov cocktails burns group of foes. Really useful with a combination of a firecracker, and then you throw a Molotov cocktail when they're all gathered together. UV flashlight burns and stun volatiles. Extremely useful at night. There's other items like flare works with UV flashlight. I'll let each and every one of you discover that. So let's go to the next topic for this guide. In Dying Light, you'll have to scavenge for parts and items and materials. Well, guess what? With this Don't Panic guide, I'll go with the basics. Now, for greater detail of that, check out the video in the description on how to farm materials. You definitely want to farm certain places. Now, respawn time is usually 1 real life hour, with the exception of a few things, like for example shops. That's 24 in-game hours. It'll respawn again the items. Same thing with a certain creature I'm about to farm to at night. Now, if you're farming the quarantine zones, even though the risk is higher, however, you could actually farm it over and over again. So definitely farm like crazy in this game. You need something, go ahead and do it. Just memorize the spot where they're at, so this way you can tap it again and again, even if it takes an hour or so, due to the fact it respawns that. So let's go ahead and do the next part of the video. I'm going to go ahead and cover all this at once while I'm in the quarantine zone. Yes, in Dying Light, there are main quests you could do, aka the story quests. However, there are side quests you could do, which could benefit you greatly. For example, you could get blueprints, you could craft more things, you could get more survival points, and other goodies. Now, random events, at times you get random items. Also, that includes airdrops, which gets on relief site packs, which is really nice. You could turn into the Quartermaster. Yeah, turn those into the Quartermaster to get some more survival points. Also, there's challenges you could do for survival points, maybe other things too. Quarantine zones, greater risk, greater reward. And if you're getting the drops here, that is great. There's also chests you could loot up, and also lock boxes that are tough to get into, but you get valuable items in there too. Last but not least is seasonal events. Yeah, that's right. You want to do these. They're really fun to do. You could get some very nice upgrades, gold weapons, and even the king upgrades. So, should I do all these? Absolutely. In Dying Light, the world can be a very dangerous place at times if you decide to use a lockbox in order to pick the lock off of it. Yeah, it's like real time. In other words, the infected could attack you if you're not careful. Shops restock every 24 hours, so definitely check out the shops. And when you get your survival level up, there'll be new items in shops. Definitely go for those. Just explore this world. You may never know. You might find something hidden. You might find something useful. Or you might find something fun to do. I'm going to go ahead and go over those. Your health is on the upper left. You lose health all to 0. You die. Underneath that, that's your health kit. That's how many you have. That number means when you get to 1, that's when you access to a legendary level. Now, the upper right, agility's on the left. And, of course, power's on the right. Now, on the bottom left, that's where your items are at. On the bottom right, that's your melee weapon. How many times you can repair before you cannot anymore. And how many metal scraps you could use to repair. Now, this is your map system. Really easy to use. On the PC version, you can also click the location where to go. That's like a custom waypoint. So if you want to farm something, well, you could do that. This is your quest menu here. Also your challenge menu too, or anything else. This is your inventory. Remember, inventory space is limited, so don't go too crazy on it. This is your blueprints that you learned. Now this is your skill menu. It tells you also how much more survival, agility, and power you need. And if you get to legendary, and that's it. Just take your time and get used to the UI. So let's talk about the next topic. Dying Light added a feature to upgrade your melee weapons. So this way it'll be more attractive to definitely use melee weapons. Upgrading is very easy as long as you have the certain items you could use to upgrade. Like for example, Juggernaut upgrade and more. So upgrading is very easy on the PC version. Just select your weapon and select upgrade, or hit the proper button for the upgrade. So I'm going to select it right now. Now this weapon has 2 slots. I'm going to randomly put 2 in, and I'm going to say this right now. Upgrade certain weapons with certain tier what do you call it, mods. So for example, if you have a legendary one, great ideal to stock it up with King. Don't put, like for example, this rare one and just king it up like crazy. That's like a bad ideal. Now mods are all over the world. Sometimes they're during events, seasonal events, and more. Like I said before, do everything. You may never know, you might find a nice mod you want to use for your weapon. Crafting and blueprints can really help you out in Dying Light. For example, if you use blueprints on certain type of melee weapons, you can make them much better. You can make them on fire, like for example, a nice flaming sword. Also, you craft some good things, like for example, lockpicks, medikits. So definitely do any of these side quests, explore the world, and you'll find some blueprints. Also, certain skills will give you access to better things to craft too. So let's talk about the next topic. So you're all asking a question, how do I level up survival, power, and agility? That's very simple. As for survival, just quest up even story or side quests. Yeah, do plenty of those. Go in quarantine zones and complete them. Turn in disaster relief packages to the quartermaster, get your survival points up there. Agility, simply run across rooftops, climb, or do certain moves too. As for power, simply kill things. The more you kill things, the better power you get up there. Yeah, especially use melee weapons to kill. That's much more quicker to get that power level up than guns. In Dying Light, there are 3 main skill trees: survival, agility, and power. I'll go over each of them and give my thoughts on each of the skills. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. There's certain levels it caps at. Once you reach a certain cap, you get to do legendary experience points, or legend experience. I won't go over legend level or its tree. I'll let you all discover that on your own. So for survival, the first thing I'm going to talk about is your survival starting kit. Now this gives you basic crafting items to do. Get this first. In fact, it is a backpacker. More space for your backpack, more things you can carry. Really useful. Master backpacker. It's much better than backpacker. It gives you even more space, which is great. Boosters, it gives you boosters in certain things, like for example, longer stamina and more. Booster XL makes those boosters last longer. Now barter, this is very good. Gives you a 10% discount on shops, or 10% on shops going your way. Haggle, that boosts up the what do you call that, discount, or I should say the shop thing. And hard bargain, it's better than the other two for shops. If you want to make money, well, rush to that. Elemental throwing stars. This will give you the ability to make some nice elemental throwing stars if you like throwing weapons. That's good. DIY grenades. You have the ability to now craft some grenades. They make noise, however, they do a lot of damage. Trap bombs, they're also good too. Again, they're noise makers, however, they blow things up. Now, crafting expertise. You even get better at crafting. That means your crafting items are much more. Lucky repairs. This is a great skill to have for melee weapons. So sometimes when you repair a melee weapon, it won't use its slot up. Really useful. Nibble hands. That means you loot up corpses much faster. Really useful if you want to loot and go. Electric fences. Learn how to use the electric fence traps. Really useful if you want to kill some infected by those type of traps. Exploding cards. You learn how to use exploding card traps, which is good. Now, shield mastery, you get to learn how to craft a shield and use it in combat. Shield crafting, it gives you the ability to add elemental effects on it, which is a good thing if you're in the shields. Camouflage, extremely useful. When you kill an infected and then you camouflage yourself, I should say you can slip on by an infected. Now, if you shoot things, that camouflage goes bye-bye. Also, water, it goes away. Now, camouflage attack. It's upgraded camouflage. Now you can attack foes while you're being camouflaged. Now, the only thing, like I said before, it will not work is if you use guns. Rush for camouflage. Grappling hook. This will teach you how to use a grappling hook. This grappling hook could get you to places a lot quicker instead of a long and slow climb. Get this ASAP, everyone. I'm serious. Specialist, you get to use weapon blueprints more efficiently. You also get to score some critical hits though with said weapons. Very useful. Craftsman, you get to use weapon blueprints more efficiently. So every time you craft a weapon with an elemental effect, for instance, that damage goes up. Ultimate Survivor. This means you get better with the grappling hook, shield, and camouflage more efficiently. That's the last one you get after you get all the other survival skills. Now, next up is agility. First off is dodge. You get to learn how to dodge incoming attacks. So you move a direction and hit spacebar, you dodge out of the way. Good to start out with. Grapple. So now you get to grab enemies and throw them. It's a good way to throw enemies off a roof too. Brutal grapple. It's much more better than grapple, and it's more powerful. Slide. Now you get slide. We call it, just if you run when you slide, you can knock down foes this way. Leg breaker, so when you slide, you kick, you have a chance to stun them and also execute them too. Really useful upgrade for slide. Health regen, simple. This regenerates your health at a certain point. So you're low on health, regen kicks in. Very useful in dire situations. Now vault, you will get to jump over enemies, so you run, you hit the space bar, you jump over. Great to have. So vault stun, now you stun your enemies. And if you're really quick, you can one-shot with a certain skill. Now, drop kick, so that's just basically run, jump, and then kick them. Very useful, and you can kick them off rooftops too this way too. Drop kick bomb, your drop kicks does more damage. Great upgrade to have. Now, free running adapt, that means you get better at running, you get to climb more quickly, your agility gains a lot faster, you have access to new skills. Great to have, get it ASAP. Light drop, reduce damage in falling. You want this too. Forward roll, so it's like Assassin's Creed. When you're about to drop at certain feet, you roll on the ground. Well, you do that in Dying Light too. That roll is very nice to have. Now escape, when foes grab you, you can shake off them more easily. So buyer grabs you, you can do it much more quicker. Instant escape, very useful. So when foes grab you, you can escape with ease. Reversal, you get to turn tide on buyers now, so anytime they grab you, you can stun them and then kill them. Now, next up is tackle. Simple, you attack an enemy, they move out of the way. You push them out of the way. Good to have. Now, the upgrade to, I'm not saying upgrade now, this is backlash, so you turn around when you're running, use throwing weapons or UV flashlight at foes. Great to have at night. We'll talk about night later on this guide. Ram, this is an upgrade to tackle, and now you get to do some more damage with it. This is good to have if you use tackle more often. And after tackle, free running expert, that means you get better at running, you get more agility. Get this ASAP. It also unlocks the last set of skills. Must have. Health regen 2. Better than health regen 1. You get to regen more health. Great to have. Now, Tic Tac, that's like wall jump, so if you're very good with it, you can get to places very far. Now, after you get all the agility skills, you get the Ultimate Runner. Does not cost any stamina. Now, difficulty modes apply, so there's certain ones you cannot actually get unlimited stamina, so be careful. Let's go over the power skill tree. Stun. You get to be able to stun foes, either with a blunt weapon or at certain times certain things. Must have. Kick stun. Now your kicks have a chance to stun. If your foes are stunned, you can be able to finish them off. Good to have. Stun kill. Anytime when a foe is stunned, you can instantly kill them. Extremely useful, everyone. Multi-throw. You can throw your throwing weapons up to 3 enemies. Good to have if you like throwing weapons. Now, blast. You do double damage with throwing weapons. Like I said before, you like throwing weapons, go ahead and use it. Sturdiness. This is it's like more damage you could absorb. Must have. Melee throw. You throw your own melee weapon you use against foes. I'm against that because what if you throw a good one away like a gold tier one? You throw it off the roof or something. Combat adapt. Better at fighting. More stamina and you have more access to a new set of abilities. Get this ASAP. Now, power attack, you get to charge up your one-handed weapon, and you do more damage, however, it costs your stamina, so be careful. Now, after that is windmill. You charge up your two-handed weapon, you go round, 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 cost more stamina, you do more damage. Upgrade to windmill is whirlwind. Let me go ahead and get to that. Stamina cost of windmill attacks is reduced by half. Great to have. Conserve weapons. You get to learn how to use melee weapons efficiently. Their durability goes down much slower. Great to have if you're into that. Focus. Striking the enemy at the same time. You do more damage for each hit. Great against certain foes like goons, demolishers, or any special enemies that takes a while to kill. Now, kill frenzy. The faster you kill foes, the more power you get. More kills you do, the bigger the bonus. Must have. Now, stomp. You get to finish enemies on the ground. If they're on the ground falling, instant kill them. Boom, that's it. They're dead. See, I don't want to be ya. You know what I mean. Sturdiness 2. Better than Sturdiness 1. Even absorb more damage. Great to have. Ground pound. Strikes the ground with a powerful weapon. Topples enemies. Useful to have. It does require a two-handed weapon. That's the disadvantage. Drop attack. Extremely useful to have with a one-handed weapon. At times can finish off foes if you have a good melee weapon. Slam. Increase the range and the force of your ground pound. Great to have though if you use that. Combat expertise. You're better at fighting. Gain more skills. And stamina is really up there too. It boosts that. Takedown, extremely useful. Sneak behind an enemy, instant kill him, and that's it. You combine it with the 2 camouflage, and you got yourself a deadly set of kill streaks going on. Yeah, we'll talk about camouflage and that too, takedown. Now, sturdiness 3, better than both sturdiness, even absorb more damage, useful to have. Last but not least, ultimate combat. In other words, when you use melee weapons, you will not get tired. No stamina drain. And that's about it for the skill tree, so pick which one you want to go. I'll probably say it's camouflage, grapple, and takedown are the best ones to get, especially the backpack ones too. Let's go for the next topic in the video. The grappling hook. When you do get the skill and have access to the grappling hook, it unlocks so many things a lot quicker. Climbing is much more easier thanks to the grappling hook. Now, it takes a little charge on that. That's the downside. Another downside is certain parts of the story you cannot use the grappling hook, and you cannot use it in certain challenges. Still, take full advantage of the grappling hook. So this way, you get to certain places much quicker. You don't have to climb dangerous places knowing that if you mess up, you die. In Dying Light, the camouflage skill, the camouflage attack, and even takedown all combined can make this game a lot more simpler. Camouflage is simple, kill and infected, and voila, just use the prompt to camouflage. Now, be careful about 3 things about camouflage. Rain will make sure that camouflage goes bye-bye quicker. You dive in the water, camouflage goes bye-bye. If you decide thinking, okay, I'm camouflage, I'm going to use a gun. No, that goes bye-bye too. Use this to kill foes in a quicker session without them attracting attention, or slip by them. Certain foes will definitely see through your camouflage, so do be careful on that. Otherwise, abuse this skill combination like crazy. Let's talk about day versus night. In Dying Light, you could go ahead and grind at the daytime. However, if you really want to gain those 3 skills a lot quicker, nighttime is the way to do it. It's a big risk versus reward. In other words, more danger at night. However, you get more of the reward. It's simple to get to night. Either do it naturally in game time, or look for a bed and sleep until nightfall. When you're at night, your survival, your agility, and power level experience gains go up there really big time. Very useful if you're playing on hard or nightmare difficulty. Now, you have to be careful though. Once you attract attention on the mini-map you see before you, well, guess what? That's just an indicator that means you're about to be chased. However, since I killed the volatile, I got some extra experience points. Now, if you want to, you can evade the chase and your pursuer, and you'll definitely get some nice experience points that way. Now, if you make it at, say, a safe house and then sleep to bank your said points you gain, well, guess what? It's a great way to level up those skills that way. See, I'm about to bank it. See, those survival points, I'm going to go ahead and sleep in the bed, and voila, I gain some survival points. And yes, you evade a chase, you gain agility points too. Great way to do so. Also, killing enemies at night is a great way to get power up. So let's go talk about some final advice I will give. I'm going to go ahead and give some final advice before I go. When you start out, make sure you at least have 1 or 2 melee weapons, maybe a spare ones. Start immediately hunting for supplies. Do many of the side quests and any of the events before doing the main story quests. So this way you get more out of this game. Definitely set up a few farm spots, even if they are about an hour of respawn time. I should say 1 real life respawn time. Go ahead and of course kill foes that you can kill, like for example these thugs. Now if there's any extra items you want to sell, go ahead and do so. Take advantage of the shop respawn system. Now if you get the on-site disaster relief packages, turn them into the quartermaster, get some nice survival experience points. If you're dire for power, agility, or survival points to gain, go ahead and do this at night. Hit up those quarantine zones. They are really useful. And yeah, do craft like crazy. You're going to be crafting so much. Upgrade your weapons like crazy too. Be careful using guns, because if you get headshots, you'll make some noise. Other than that, enjoy the game and do the water quest. It's really fun. I forgot one more thing, everyone. Do those seasonal events. You'll get some nice rewards out of it. Well, everyone, this is it for my Don't Panic Dying Light new player guide video. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Thank you for watching and have a great day or night. Please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. If you like what you see with these guides, then pick my suggestion on the upper left hand corner, or YouTube suggestion of my videos on the bottom left hand corner. Have a great day or night, and do hunt down some infected.